channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 10 is here, guys. Trade deadline is over. A few big moves we'll quickly talk about. Nothing crazy, though, besides obviously the New York Jets unloading their team, going for all the draft picks the next 2 years. We'll talk about that shortly. But like always, we're going to talk about three big games like usual, including the Monday Nighter, provide some teaser and underdog options as well. This week, we'll look at Tampa Bay versus New England. Big game there in Tampa Bay. Baltimore versus Minnesota. Huge game for both teams, really, but bigger for Baltimore. Almost a must-win game. Moving forward, every game is a must-win game, but this one in Minnesota will really put them back in the hunt in the power rankings. And then Monday Nighter, Green Bay versus Philly. Another good game. Lots of good games this week. We'll talk those three. I'll break them down like I always do. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities, records, resume, and more. Currently handicapping the NFL, UFC, NHL, and PGA. A little more casual look today, guys. I don't think you guys ever seen me with a hat on. Throw on the hat today. A little change it up, switch it up, right? Why not? Why not? Instead of always looking professional or whatnot, you know, I can make it casual as well. Nice week last week. It was a profitable one. Thanks to a 2-0 spread market for clients. 3-1 player props was the highlight last week. Obviously, underdogs, we hit both for you guys last week. Hopefully you did tail those. Denver plus 110, good price there. They were able to pull it off at the end against Houston. And then a situational underdog. I advise, guys, Pittsburgh had a shot to win that game, and they did so. Outstanding performance by the upfront guys on the D-line. D-line won them the game, let's be honest. They were able to get the Daniel Jones, really pressure him, and it was very impressive to watch from the Pittsburgh side. Our Colts, maybe a little bit of a fraud. I don't know. They stepped up, played one of their better teams they've lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wouldn't even really say they're a great team. So maybe it is a one-off. We will see. But hey, they got a lot better. Sauce Gardner, we'll talk about that here shortly. We did miss out on the teaser of the week for podcast purposes and for clients. It was Green Bay was the big surprise. I thought Green Bay would have a great game in return. They're minus 13.5 favorites in that game, guys. Carolina won outright. Very impressive. Hey, hats off to Carolina. That's all you can really do. You know, Green Bay has a couple bad losses now. A little concerning, right? Cleveland, and now Carolina. It's weird games, right? And then you see them beating up on good teams. So maybe they play down to their competition. Don't really know. That's a coaching issue, though, right? You got to get your team up for every game. Spreads last week, we were able to cash on Atlanta, plus 5.5. They should have won that game, at least forced that game into overtime. Their kicker missed a short extra point and it got cut right after. And then we were on San Fran minus 2.5. That was a play of the week for me. San Fran minus 2.5. A great win there. Let's do a Circa update for everyone. You know, we update the Circa Survivor for you guys, and we move on to week 10. We had the Rams, and they won easily. So things are looking good for Survivor. Kind of have it planned out. I don't like to plan out Survivor at the beginning of the season for like every week. You don't ever know, right? You have to adjust. Now, when I'm in the second half, you're starting to look ahead. See where teams I can use, what teams I can use in which weeks. Obviously, for Circa Survivor, if you guys don't know, the Thanksgiving weekend, you have to use 2 games you have to attack. So you have to attack the Thanksgiving game or the Friday game, and then you have to attack one game on Sunday. That's the toughest week to get by. So, yeah, things are planned out. We just got to avoid the big upsets, right? Or hit the closer games that will be attacking later on in the season. Hopefully we do get there. About 1,700 entries left in the Circa Survivor from, I think it was 18,000, right? So, yeah, either way, we're doing good here, but I won't be happy until we make it to the end. 18 million on the line, obviously doing this with a client. Power ranking update. Let's do a power ranking update. Bills are back on the top. It does change from week to week. Bills have looked great the past 2 weeks. Obviously, they beat Kansas City, who was playing some of the best football coming into that game, guys. Let's be honest. Bills were able to win that game. Ugly loss by the Colts. They dropped down into the 5th spot here. Bills make the biggest jump from, I think they're 6th or 7th, moved up to 1st. Back-to-back nice wins for them. Seattle looked great. They get back into the top 10 as well. And how about the Pats, right? 7-2, guys. Ugly win versus the Falcons, but they held on. So they're slightly moving up the power rankings this week. Trade deadline, I'll quickly talk about that. Like I mentioned, guys, Jets unloaded, right? Now they got like 3 or 4 first-round picks the next 2 years. Only the Jets could screw this up, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. It's kind of strange. Trading Sauce Gardner was a surprise. They did get 2 first-rounders, so I believe they couldn't say no. But they just signed Sauce Gardner. It's like $120 million, 4-year, 5-year contract. So that was a little mind-boggling. I don't know, but I guess it's hard to say no to 2 first-round picks for a corner, even though he's a very good corner, top 3 corner in the NFL, in my opinion. It's 2 first-round picks at the end of the day. Now, are you going to be able to use them wisely? We'll see, right? It's a Colts first-round pick as well, so it's going to be deeper into the draft. But hey, hats off to the Jets for kind of doing stuff, and they obviously got rid of Quinnen Williams as well to Dallas for another first-round pick. I think a second as well. So, hey, they're unloading. They realize that this team is just not good. Even if they keep those 2 stars, they're so far behind. They got to get quarterbacks. They got to so many weapons to help them out. They're just so far behind that 1 or 2 guys aren't going to do it. So they're going straight up rebuild. Good luck to them there. Other news, Brissett has taken over the job from Kyler Murray. They put Kyler Murray back on injury reserve. I'm calling it now. Kyler Murray does not play again for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that's like shocking or a big hot take, but they obviously invested into him, and I'm not saying Brissett's the answer, but he's played better. The last 3 games, he's outplayed Kyler Murray. Now, maybe they draft a quarterback moving forward. Maybe they trade for a quarterback. Not too sure, but right now, Brissett is outplaying him, so that's why he's playing. So, interesting there. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into these games. Starting with a good one, 1 o'clock, New England at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 2.5, total 48.5. Tough game to handicap. The line tells you that at 2.5. We got Tampa Bay off a bye. We always like a team off a bye in most cases. It does get the team a lot healthier. In Tampa, though, the stars, it looks like Evans, Godwin, Irving, not practicing yet. So I don't know if they're going to play, and I don't think they will. Running into the hottest team right now, 6-game winning streak right now for New England. The only way I could look would take plus money with New England. It's not going to make my client card personally. But that's the only way I can look with all the injuries on Tampa Bay. Now, Baker Mayfield has been finding ways to win games. They just haven't been beating hot teams, though, and teams playing this well. So, watch the injury report. If Irving comes, Godwin, I don't believe will come. We know Mike Evans is out for a while, but Irving would be a huge get back for this Tampa Bay team. We're going to have to see what happens there. Now, New England, they did get lucky to beat Atlanta. I don't think they played that great, especially late in that game. Atlanta did make a comeback. But Atlanta missed that extra point. Like I said, cut their kicker. So, Pats got the 1-point win. They hang on. It was a tough spot. I think situationally, Atlanta wasn't a good spot to win that game outright. I took them plus 5.5. Hit a nice ticket there. But, still a good win for New England. Atlanta, I still have them as a mid-table team. But let's look at some of the other wins, right? New England. They have wins over the Dolphins, Saints, Titans, Panthers, Browns. The big win, obviously, Buffalo Bills. So I can't really, it's a huge win for them. You can't say anything about that. And their next big win, obviously, the Falcons. So, yeah, time will tell. This will be a huge win for them. It will be their second biggest win, especially on the road in Tampa Bay. So that will be interesting to watch and see how this game goes. The losses, interesting losses, Pittsburgh and Vegas, right? Vegas first game of the season. I don't look at that too much. But Pittsburgh, tough loss there. Bucks have notable wins, right? You could say a little more notable wins than the Pats. 49ers, Seahawks, Falcons, and Texans. So I do have to give Bucks that credit there. But that's when they were a little more healthy. A couple of those wins. 2 losses were against top 5 teams in the Eagles and the Lions, right? So that's what makes me I'm not staying away from a client play here, but for podcast purposes, it's going to be plus 2.5, plus 3. Maybe buy the alternate spread there. Get a minus 125, plus 3 on the Pats. Probably feel a little more comfortable with that. I do expect this to be a close game. If Bucks win, it probably will be by a field goal. So yeah, get that up to alternate to plus 3. Maybe shop around. You can get that price out there. But that underdog price doesn't look too bad on the Pats here. A couple stats that I do want to mention from that stand out. I like to do that in my breakdowns. You do have to look at the stats and compare them, guys. When you're comparing games, please do your research. This is what I come in handy, right? And that's why I have a lot of clients that will just pay me to do the research monthly and jump on the subscription platform. But yeah, Tampa Bay, if you look at it, it's not great on paper, which has me, it's just Baker Mayfield finding ways to win games, right? You have Tampa Bay 18th in total yards, 24th in rushing yards allowed. This is a defense. So nothing great on the side from a stat standpoint for Tampa Bay. The defense just been mid-table, mid-pack throughout the year. Against the run has been a little better. Sorry, I'm going to go back to that. That was offense. That was their offense. 18th in total yards and 24th in rushing yards. So Tampa Bay's offense has struggled at times. Even though we see big totals, their stats from a standpoint of yards haven't been great. The defense, though, mid-pack, right? They're always good against the run. Anytime you have Vita Veda in there, you're going to have a good rush defense. So, if the rush D steps up, May is going to be able to throw on this on this Bucks team. That's why I do believe May should have a decent game here. Pats lead the NFL in yards allowed versus the rush. 75. So their rush D has been very good. So I expect Baker Mayfield to have to throw the ball to beat this Pats team. No head-to-head stats to look at here. Last time they played was 2021. So we're not going to really look at that. I told you my plays in this game. Pats a little healthier. Obviously, Bucks coming off the bye, not getting their big guys back. Now, right now I'm seeing Godwin and Irving aren't playing. If they do come back, both of them, that's a big upgrade. I would probably stay away fully. But plus 3 Pats, that's the way I'll look here. Baltimore, minus 4 at Minnesota, total 49.5. No love for the Vikings here after them just going to Detroit and beating them on the road, which nobody saw. Huge win for Minnesota. Ravens coming into this game, a different Ravens team. Put aside that bad record. They were injured. And they started slow. They're back to themselves, in my opinion. They beat up on bad teams, and the Bears aren't terrible. They're a mid-pack team, but they beat up the Dolphins as well. So this game, I think, will tell a lot. How good is this team? Now, they're healthier. They had that bye week, which was very important for them. A lot of teams, you say, a bye week early, you don't like it. Here, I like it. This is a great bye for the Baltimore Ravens. I think it was, week 7. So great timing for them. They got healthy, and they made some quiet moves in the past month. They obviously brought in a couple guys the past week. Lawson, it's going to help the D-line get to the passer a little bit. He's not going to play a lot, but he'll come in sparingly. Physical guy, and they just got a little more physical up front. They brought in Jones from Tennessee. 4.5 sacks on the year. Physical guy as well. He can rush the passer from different areas on that D-line. So I think they're going to help. But what really helped them was bringing in Gilman from the Chargers. It helped free up Hamilton. Hamilton's all over the place now. You can see him rushing the passer. You can see him covering tight ends, moving up all over the place. Now you got Gilman back there to cover it. He doesn't have to play center field Hamilton. He can be all over the place. It opens up this defense a ton. You just don't know what you're going to get from Hamilton. You don't know where he's going to be. When he could play like that, this is when he's his best. So this helped a ton. I love what the Ravens have done. I'm going to play the Ravens here more in the money line and maybe in a money line parlay. I can't get to the -4. I would actually lean Minnesota to cover this 4, but I'm not getting in front of this Ravens team with Lamar Jackson back, guys. I don't expect Minnesota to get the same pressure they did against Goff. Keep in mind, if your game plan for Goff and your game plan for Lamar Jackson is night and day difference. They don't have someone in Minnesota to mock Lamar Jackson. They're not going to bring as much pass rushers to Lamar Jackson because he can get away from it. But keep in mind, it's a totally different game plan from the Lions and Goff. So I don't think they're going to have much success here. Another thing here, the Minnesota, you can throw on them. You can run on them as well. 20th in yards allowed at 122 rushing yards per game. So look out for Henry to have a big game here. But hey, I can't write off Minnesota. They have a shot to win this game outright. I just like the Ravens situational spot better here, backs up against the wall. It's a playoff game for them. It's a playoff game for them, guys. They have to win this game. Ravens will be my play. Don't love the -4. I like the money line a little better here. Not going to look at a ton of stats. This is a situational handicap for me. Like I said, Ravens been top 10 in defense after the bye. Before the bye, we know they've been a mess. They know we had a lot of injuries. They're still not going to be the Ravens defense that we all used to know, right? They lost Madubuike in the middle. He's their anchor. That's a big loss. They're trying to fill it up with Jenkins, a few other guys. It's not going to work. But I think their secondary is good enough. They got Roquan Smith there in the middle. I do believe Gilman brings a lot, and maybe Jones could help that pass rush out a lot because the pass rush is not good. The D-line has taken a big hit. Excited for this game. See how it'll play out. I expect Lamar to have a good one. Monday night game, Eagles at Green Bay Packers, -2.5, total 45.5. Tough game to handicap from a side standpoint. Big Monday night game. We get Eagles off a bye, and the Packers looking to bounce back after a tough home loss. That's why there's no situational handicap here, right? There's no, I like this because of this, I like this because no. You got Eagles off a bye, play the Packers really well, won the last 3 games against the Packers. And you got Packers almost like in a desperate win mode here, right? And they have shown they can beat good teams. I moved them outside of the top 10 in the power rankings, Green Bay. You can't lose to Carolina at home. So, yeah, they could be back in it right away, especially after a win over the Eagles here. But, yeah, the losses, like I mentioned at the top of this podcast, guys, Panthers, Browns, a little concerning. They play down in competition, but when they've played better teams besides Dallas, they got a tie. They were able to get a win. It was crazy when you look at the stats, right? Packers offense and the defensive numbers. They are very good. Like they're top 5 against the pass and run. They have limited big plays at second in the NFL, allowing only 4.8 yards per play. That's good. Very good. So their numbers from the defensive standpoint look very good, right? When they were losing those 2 bad games, Carolina only put 16 points, and I believe Cleveland only put 13 points on them. So it's not like, it's more the offense that's having issues in these games, and Love needs to be more consistent for them. Now, they lost Tucker Kraft. Huge loss for that team. Huge loss, right? He made some big catches for them, big touchdowns. He moves the ball and he's going to be a loss for that team, guys. So we're going to see how they move forward with that. On offense, they've also been able to move the ball, right? They get big chunks, 8th in total yards, 7th in yards per play. Kraft had a big part of that. 2 losses, like I mentioned, very concerning. Very concerning. Tough game to predict. I am going to lean the Eagles plus the points. Again, feel free to get that +3, get that alter line or shop around, but I'll take Eagles plus the points here. Getting off a bye and then that Kraft loss. I think that's a big issue. Eagles back-to-back wins after a little bad stretch there, but I do believe they're back. And I would only could look at their way. Again, they've had a lot of success against the Packers. So that's the only way I can look if I were to bet this game. Total, what's the total? 45. Now, 2 of the last 3 games have gone over, but the first game didn't. Their recent game didn't. 45 is tough. 45 is that books they're saying, I don't really know what to do with it. So I'll be staying away from that. But yeah, I'll lean the Eagles plus the points here. If you can get the +3, I do like that more. Teasers. Missed out last week, like I mentioned, due to the Packers' big upset. This week, let's get back on track. Remember, we started 4-0 in the teaser market. Then we had a couple losses. Still profitable. Remember, these are plus One plus 120 teasers, 7 points for clients. I give you my two favorite here. Eagles plus 10 and Browns plus 4 against the Jets, who just traded away their best two players. I wouldn't say, Browns are guaranteed to win this game. Those are the type of spots I've seen before where that other team wins when they do trade away some guys and the team doesn't quit. But Browns plus 4 if Jets win this game would be very close. Underdogs, lots of options this week, guys. Lots of options. The one I talked about will be the play, but there's Pats, Falcons, Vikings, Jags, Giants, Saints, Cardinals, Eagles, Steelers, 49ers. Lots of, I wouldn't be surprised if 3-4 of these teams win. But I talked about it already. I'm going to go with the Pats to continue the run. Again, I don't like it as much if Irving and Evans, not Evans. Evans isn't coming back. Godwin come back. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I think they're alive. The Pats get the plus 120, plus 125 out there. Jags, I like as well. But I do believe that line's going to flip to probably, because they were plus 1. Let me check right now. I'm going to check right now, so bear with me. Because I had them at plus 1, but the news of the QB being out, Stroud, that's probably flipped it. Let me check. If not, it's going to be my favorite play, the Jags, plus money. Let's see if it changed. Okay, they're still underdogs. Yeah. So hey, Jags, a little more than the Pats, but we'll give two out here. So Jags plus 105, you can get plus 100. Slight dog, right? But the bigger dog Pats plus 125. That will do it, guys. Great. We're at just under 70%, 69 point whatever for underdog outrights plus money, guys. So do the math there. That will do it. UFC card will be out tomorrow. Got a ton of talk about there with the betting scandals and more. So look out for that podcast tomorrow. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.